Hi, this is Jundo. Welcome to Tree Leaf, and we're continuing our talks about Master Dogen's Bendowa. And I want to spend a little more time just on the first few sentences, because so much of Master Dogen's perspective is contained right here. We see that he is proposing a method that was handed down from Buddha to Buddha, right to you, another Buddha, and that is sitting Zazen. But not just any sitting, and not even just any Zazen. Master Dogen speaks of a standard, a criterion, Jijiyu Zanmai, which can be translated a few ways, but I like the taste of still, abiding self in self-fulfillment. The self dancing at home. Samadhi, well, samadhi is a very old word in not only Buddhism but many Eastern traditions, and there it comes in many flavors, but for our purposes we could say just a still, peaceful abiding with all resistance dropped away. And there is the self fulfilled. Now, the interesting thing about this is that many schools of Eastern thought, even of Buddhism, speak about peace through dropping the self. When you taste that realm where there is no self or other and the self vanishes, that is nirvana, that is peace. But Master Dogen always had a somewhat different perspective on the self. And actually, it's found in many places in Mahayana Buddhism. It's not just Master Dogen. And that is that the self itself is not really our enemy. It's a lot of the stuff that the self does. The self is filled with resistance, dissatisfactions, fears, regrets, thoughts for the future about what it hopes will make it happy, likes and dislikes. You know, all that junk in your trunk up here. Not the other trunk, the trunk up here. If we can drop all that away, the self is left perfectly at home. Think about it, or actually don't think about it, is a Zen way to do this. But if you drop the likes and dislikes, the self finds a certain taste of fulfillment. If you drop ideas of dissatisfaction, the self is satisfied. If you drop ideas of longing, what's left then? The self at home. If you drop ideas of regret for the past, there's a self that's just living. If you drop ideas of worry for the future, there's a self that embraces whatever is. You see how that goes? Am I giving you a flavor for this? So when we sit in Zazen, it's not that we, in Master Dogen's view, eliminate the self. We let the self dance. The self in life dances free, knowing that when it drops all idea of right and wrong, it can't dance wrong. That doesn't mean that life will always go smoothly, just like Zazen never goes completely smoothly. But that means that the self is free, no matter how the dance goes. So I believe this is what Master Dogen is proposing here, and what we're going to see as we continue reading not only through Bendowa, but all of Master Dogen's writings. He's not about extinguishing the self. He's not about completely dropping all idea of the self, though we do that. We drop the separation of self and other in such a way that the self rises and is fulfilled. Because the friction between self and other is blown away into emptiness. And without the friction of the self and other, the self stands as a jewel. It's a little hard to explain. Otherwise, actually, it's very hard to explain in words. But I hope I was able to convey it to you. And what is the method that Master Dogen recommends? That the Buddhas have passed down from Buddha to Buddha? Just sitting in upright zazen. Just sit and drop the junk in the trunk. Shall we do that right now? By the way, this is dedicated to my teacher, Master Nishijima, who is not doing so well right now. I don't